Hey everyone, welcome to Dark Helmet Racing League Season 10, Round 8, or 7, sorry. We're at VIR. We had 24 cars out tonight, almost an equal split between all classes. Platinum had 7, Silver had 8, and Bronze had 7 as well. So, really good split. Really close racing in a lot of the classes. The Platinum's the top, where the second through fifth battle was pretty intense most of the race. So let's get into this. Let's see what we got. So this looks like a big hit of netcode. So you can see here, cars didn't even come close to touching, and slam kicks the 35 of Caesar sideways here. Gives both a 4x contact even though they didn't hit. And then Caesar slides into Eric behind, I think. Eric has nowhere to go. And that's that. So there's no action on all of that. Eric ended to get a meatball from this too. Now, Eric, if I run this forward for a second and get to when he's in the pits, when we were racing, it sounded a lot different than what it actually was. But if we listen in a second, it should pop up. And I'll pull it back once we get there. Should have two. There's Tanner, and then it's after that. So at the time when it was said, it sounded bad, but it's actually, it looks like a message between So Caesar messaged Eric telling him that he's fine, don't worry about it. Just watch the language. Yeah, we are broadcasting this, so that stuff. That's why Brandon said that. We are broadcasting this, so we don't want swearing on the broadcast. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to do anything else on that one. Okay. He gets his meatball cleared. Chris finishes the race and then crashes after the finish. Again, as long as you don't bounce into anybody or hit anybody on your crash post race, I'm fine with it. But the moment you do, it's a 5 penalty point penalty. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so that our sprint, nothing to report. Let's get into our feature here. Nowhere for Troy to go there. Let's just watch the rejoin. It's got a ton of damage. Crabbing and everything. Does he try to drive this back or does he tow? This is... He would lose less time to tow. Let's just see what he does. But some people like the battle as well to try to get back. So no action there. Patrick was the first one to spin here. He doesn't get near as much damage as Troy did. And off he goes. So no action there. Alright, so here we have not fully involved in the original incident, but if we look here, we've got, I think it's Jeff going down the inside of Ryan, and then this is Alex on the outside, playing a bit of bumper cars. So a little bit of patience on the first lap, but can't really fault anybody for that move there. And then basically nowhere to go for a bunch of them there. No worried on the rejoin there. Josh. Gets a double tap, and he struggles around. No action there. Ryan's 4X starts with that one, but then culminates with that one. And Brandon Powell looks like he got super lucky. That car repaired itself. So Jeff on the inside here avoids it. And let's just watch Jeff's move here because he was the one that made this happen on the inside. But he's control. He gets the apex. He is in control at apex, so that's why this is perfectly fine. Like these cars are overslowing compared to what Jeff is able to do on the inside here. Kind of surprises everyone here, but it's perfectly fine. He's controlled. He gets the apex. I'm good with all of it. No action there, and then watch the destruction and then the repair for Brandon here. Smash, and then back the car goes back on, so he gets a lot less damage. But I think it's still pretty destroyed. Yeah, probably the axle and everything snapped. So no action there. Yeah, definitely no luck. Okay, let's see what happened here. I don't know if you guys watched the IMSA race today, but there was one hell of a accident right here with a Corvette. Right after this curb right here. But anyways, let's go through and watch this one. Just slow it down a little bit more. Let's roll it back. And then, who made the first bit of contact here? Or is it just racing? So this is Doug and Jeff. Doug on the inside, leaving plenty of space there. Jeff leaving him plenty of space as well. Now here, Doug is the one that moves over. And then the first contact wasn't that bad, but the bounce contact is, and the following contact is what spins Jeff. So here it's going to be an avoidable contact for Doug. And that'll be a 2.5. Okay. He gets it all gathered up and goes through, and then Jeff here gets kind of ping-ponged off the track. Hopefully he doesn't get into the tire wall. Did it give him front damage? Yeah, that's ridiculous that it gave him that amount of front damage. Their damage model in iRacing's got to get improved. This is getting kind of silly. We've seen a bunch of different things tonight, and none of it's consistent. No action there. Can't tell if there was any contact made, but it did give a 4x, but I don't know if it's for the brake check that happens later or this initial contact. Yeah, so there's a little tap there. Now, this is a fairly high speed, high commit corner, so please be careful with the front to rear contact. We have seen a little bit more of this as of late, so let's make sure that we're not making contact after turn in and before apex. It is something that can go bad, and in here you can see Ryan wasn't happy with it and he brake checks. Now, I'm not happy with the brake check. The contact apex can happen, but intentionally brake checking somebody and causing them to go into the back of you, that's a big no-no. And if we watch it at full speed, we know it's brake check. Because let's just go into the cockpit to make sure he's not fighting the wheel. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. From inside the car, and there's a twitch that he may still be catching. So the contact here, the car seems to be sliding ever so slightly, and he might have tapped the brakes to try to catch it. So I can't say it was a brake check for sure. Let you know that it's on my radar, and if I see anything like this again, it will 100% be a penalty. The reason why I don't feel like it's a full brake check is now they're giving each other space. So okay. So no action there. No action there. Me trying to not hammer into the back of Thomas here. You can see Thomas loses the back of the car right here. He's already sliding. He's completely lost it at this point, and I'm hard on the brakes trying to not finish him off or give him an extreme amount of damage, and somehow we got out of that okay. Sean gets by me here, and off we go again. Good save by Thomas. So no action there. Yeah, Mooney, I'm not throwing in the book at me. Alright, so this corner is really hard to make a pass at. And Doug here throws it down the inside and is absolutely not in control, but making it work, keeping it off him. Good job by Ryan to avoid the crossover attempt to try to get back down the inside of him. He just mistimes it, gets into the back of Doug here. But this is just good racing. I'm not too worried about it. Racing incident on that one with this one. Okay, let's go to this one. No action. Okay. Now this one. So we have a little bit of a changing thing here. So we have car coming out of the pits and car on a flyer. And the car on the flyer tries to make the move and just mistimes it. Now, there is good sportsmanship here. Michael waits for Brandon to get going again, and off they go. And then this ended up allowing Sean to get past both of them at one point. But yeah, Michael here just kind of made a lunge and then realized that it was not going to work out and tried to bail out of it at turn-in point, which is here. There was no here. There was no overlap. It happened just after turn-in point, and then he's not going to make Apex in control. So that's why it is what it is. So no action on those. Jeff. No action. Almost spun. No action. No action on that one. And the Ferrari actually had to run one step up on TC just to make it work. What's the genuine question? As Brandon said, if you feel like you want to have any questions or anything, please raise a protest, as we said in the public post the other week. Don't think anybody helped him here. No. A lot of damage. Okay, and then here. What's the general question? If I don't mind answering it here if it's not like incident related. Again, make sure if you're crashing after the finish, you don't bounce back into anybody else or clip anybody on your little adventure. Alright, so that's it. Okay. So a few incidents tonight. Sprint was really clean. Feature, we had 1 to report on. After that, some good hard racing. So thanks everyone. Next week we have a standing start, and we are at where's my calendar? We're at Red Bull Ring with a standing start. So that should be a little different for our starts. So make sure you practice your starts before we get there. Remember, TC being off is what a lot of people are driving on setups now. The standing starts will be problematic, so make sure you practice them. If you have time on Tuesday, join us. We're at Ostersleben, which is a free track. You definitely have it. You just probably don't know you have it. It is pretty fun. And then the M2 should be a really good tight battle. Last Tuesday, the top 5 were on top of each other for most of the race and in the sprint and in the feature. So some good racing in the Tuesday stuff. So if you feel like joining us, please come out. And that's it.